Welcome to Purpose NIL, where we are empowering athletes to elevate their stories. I'm your coach on purpose and host, James M. Rink. With me again is tight end for the University of Oklahoma football, John Locke. John has been working hard, training hard to prepare for this episode. John, you ready for kickoff?
I'm excited. It's going to be a good one.
Well, we've got a lot to get through on this episode. We're going to jump right in. Our Purpose NIL strategy is this simple. We help athletes and you to define your own life's purpose, to create it as your own branding of your own NIL, your name, image, and likeness. This strategy works great whether you're a student or a CEO. We all make money off our personal brands, our NIL. The great thing is once we define our purpose as our NIL, then we can go align it with like-minded businesses. John has already enrolled in the Purpose of You Masterclass, where he has discovered his purpose based on Purpose of You's formula for writing a purpose statement. This is important because we're going to use this later in the episode as well, which is feelings plus actions plus people equal purpose. Now, John has written a first draft to which he is modifying, testing, trying, training, and perfecting. John, would you mind reminding our audience what your purpose statement is and any changes that you might have made since the last episode?
Right. So my purpose statement is that my purpose is to inspire children to dream big, to invest in families to achieve their purpose, and to have passion in everything I do, leading to exceeding expectations and inspiring leaders.
That is great. Now, in that purpose, that works clearly in football, and as a representative of the University of Oklahoma's football program. It also can work great working with businesses to help advance their missions. And it can work in academics as well as a life and career outside of college, whether you go pro or whether you go to the business world. All true?
All true.
All right. Now, the best way to figure out how your purpose statement is working is taking it out for training through our intentional acts of purpose. John, how have you been taking your purpose to your world around you? Give us an example and maybe what you've learned and felt from that experience.
Absolutely. I think that last part of my purpose about having passion in everything I do really showed up this morning. This last week was our last week of working out with our strength coaches as a team. They're going to give us the next pretty much month to go home, do the workouts on our own. And so it was like the last week of organized working outs. And this morning we had conditioning at 6 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, it's that 5 a.m. alarm goes off. It's not always the easiest thing to wake up to, and especially when you have to go do some pretty tough conditioning. And so, yeah, I really had to remind myself, you know, when I wake up and still got, you know, my eye crusties, and I'm like, man, okay, like I love this game, and it's mornings like this, you know, Friday morning, been a long week. Like, this is where you got to get better, and this is where I really got to show that I'm passionate about this, because, you know, if I come in with a lulling energy, it's just going to kind of spread around. And so, you know, making sure to get yourself going and show the passion that you have for this, it just spreads. And sure enough, you know, we had a great workout. And by the time the workout started, everybody was locked in and very energized.
Love that. And to the audience, we are recording this in the spring. Spring football is already concluded, getting ready for the summer off season in preparation for fall football. What I loved about John's story is what we always say is you have to be living your purpose within yourself to be able to live it outside of yourself. In John rising above the early alarm clock and rising above living his purpose within himself, help him to live his purpose outside of himself. All right, John, in the last episode, we also talked about your values. Do you mind reminding the audience what your values are and any changes or any lessons that you've learned since you've declared your values in the last episode?
Right. So the values that I'd come up with were accountability, dependability, commitment, faith, integrity, sacrifice, vision, and discipline. And, as I'm going through this last week and trying to just think about how much I truly use all those values, I really think all of them stand out a lot. But this week especially, I think discipline stood out the most. Like I said, we're kind of in a period where, the coaches, our actual coaches aren't here. It's just us and the strength coaches. And you have a lot more free time outside of the workouts we're doing. And, it takes a lot of discipline in a week like this.
Values are essential, and I'm glad you've been able to define them and live them and really strengthen your resolve to care about your values and to lock in on your values. When a business is looking to invest in an athlete through an NIL deal, it's one thing to score touchdowns. It's one thing to make big plays. It's one thing to have huge social media followers. It's one thing to have a lot of fan recognition, but it all comes down to values that they can trust you as one of their brand ambassadors. So I'm glad that you're locking in and having resolve on your core values. Now, in this step of the Purpose of You Masterclass, John is defining his personal purpose plan. This is really where he's monetizing a plan to live his purpose as his NIL. This is like a business plan where we really identify missions, goals, and the things that need to get pruned away that are distracting John or all of us from living our purpose. So, John, you are high in academics, business student. How has your academic work helped writing a personal purpose plan?
It's been very important because pretty much my entire life, my purpose has been strictly, based around football, and football's just done so much for me. But, as I get into this season of life, it can be a transition period. And so taking things like academics and, my study in finance and economics seriously is something super important. And in that case, I have to consider it in my purpose and my goals for sure. And so, it's been nice through these past couple of weeks to really, make sure I'm incorporating both. And, with that internship coming up here in about 2 weeks, it's going to be a great opportunity to actually go and live, what could be my new purpose after football.
Right. And for the audience that may have not watched the prior episode, John is doing a summer internship at Allen & Company in New York City. And if you don't know Allen & Company, we're not going to find a lot online about them. They're very secretive in their wealth management secrets, and they're very powerful. But we're excited for John and that opportunity.
I teach at a public charter school in urban Oklahoma City. I was at a crossroads. I felt devalued, complete worthlessness, honestly. I didn't matter. I didn't matter to the world, and that I didn't have a path. What is my reason for even being here? I was just done. I was done with everything. Done with people, done with teaching, just done. Through Purpose of You, the course completely changed how I walk through life. And having my purpose going into the classroom was huge for me. And this past year was a great year. It was a beautiful year.
Knowing your purpose can transform your life. Go to purposeofyou.com.
Knowing what my purpose is helps me take care of me, because I have to take care of me first. If you're not valuing yourself and you're not feeling worthy, it's something I lived and had to find out, right? What that purpose was. My bucket was completely empty, and I'm trying to pour into other people, and I had nothing. So in order to take care of me is reminding myself of what I am called to do. Like, I'm seeing those things now. Before, I didn't see where my impact was at all. I am Cheryl Fox, and my purpose is to inspire others to transform their relationships, helping them feel worthy and valued.
Knowing your purpose can transform your life. Go to purposeofyou.com.
To put together a personal purpose plan, we're going to focus on purpose statements, mission statements, goals, and pruning. Now, purpose statements are for a lifetime and part of our legacy. Mission statements use the exact same formula to writing a purpose statement of Feelings put to actions to connect to people, but they're for something specific, something seasonal. For example, going to a college, that's a season. It's a season of time. Missions always honor purpose statements. Same could be true if you started a nonprofit or a new job, started a new business. That could be a mission that all aligns with your purpose. So, John, what are some of the missions that you've been able to identify in your life?
Yeah, some of the missions, the first one coming up soon is that internship. That's going to be, really good. And then in order after that, it would be summer workouts. We call that the transformation phase here. It's a really, really important deal. Then that leads into fall camp, which is the month of practice before the season starts. And then the season, obviously, we get 12 games there, and then the postseason. So those are my missions in order this year.
That's great. Now, how about your any missions that identify your NIL in expanding your platform?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I definitely have a mission there to, maximize my platform. And this is a great example of how I can do that, but it's definitely something new for me, and definitely have a mission there to, grow my NIL as much as I can.
NIL is a great mission under your purpose because it is essentially a side hustle. You've got a job working as a football player as well as getting a degree at the University of Oklahoma, but you can certainly build a side business just on your NIL. So what I've been able to identify, John, is you've got 3 seasonal missions right now in your life. 1, summer internship with Allen and Company in New York City. 2, training in the off season, preparing for fall football season. And then 3, building your NIL business, John Locke Incorporated. So what have you been able to establish as mission statements for each of those 3, or just give us a context of the early drafts that you're working on for mission statements for each of those?
Right. So, with these mission statements for my missions coming up, this internship, my mission statement there is to become the most prepared, future investment banker that I can possibly be, and to make a great impression on Allen and Company, to, maybe potentially get hired after college there, but to really, open my eyes to what I've said I've wanted to do and what I'm studying for to, finally get my hands on there. So just to maximize that and become the best prepared investment banker that I can be there.
I love, John, that you're able to identify how you can take your purpose to your summer internship opportunity. And when you talk about Allen and Company and being able to live your purpose in that mission, in that summer opportunity, you also have the opportunity to really be focused in on learning how you can be living your purpose for Allen and Company's clients. Because let's face it, wealth management is all about helping to care for families. So when you look at it through that lens of perspective, remind everybody what your purpose statement is.
My purpose statement is to inspire children to dream big, invest in families to achieve their purpose, and to have passion in everything I do, leading to exceeding expectations and inspiring leaders.
That is awesome. And then how about the second your second mission that you identified as summer and then going into the fall football training?
Right. So the summer workout, which I'll continue to we label it here as the transformation phase. My mission statement there is to be disciplined throughout the entire phase, shaping my body to in the best shape that it can be for the season. And most importantly, to, use these rigorous trainings that we're going to go through to grow as a team and to continue to bond and build chemistry.
Excellent. And then how about the third of just building your NIL brand?
Right. And so with that, goals there are, to reach that 3,000 mark following on Instagram, but more importantly, to maximize content. And with these podcasts, it's going to be great because it'll be a lot of content for me to post out there, but to really put myself out there and use my platform and get people to, see who I am and grow a following.
What helped me tremendously was connecting with other people that were also going through the same thing that I was going through. So I knew I wasn't alone, and other people battled that. And so having that encouragement was so helpful. Understanding where all of it comes from, why the feelings, frustration, it was validated. And once I had that validation, I was able to move forward and know that, okay, so throughout all of this, I am called to inspire people to transform their relationships, help them feel worthy and valued.
To learn how discovering your purpose can transform your life, go to purposeofyou.com and take the free transformational assessment.
I was thinking about leaving teaching, not knowing where to go, what to do, and I felt like I was a horrible teacher. And I decided to enroll in your course, and it's led me to where I am today, and I am happy. I've found my love for teaching again, and that's by, honestly, every morning walking down that hallway, and I would repeat my purpose and know why I'm there. And as much as I'm there to teach academics, I'm also there to help people to feel worthy and valued. And the way that those students grew throughout the year and my impact through that, and it was just super rewarding.
Discovering your purpose can transform your life. Go to purposeofyou.com.
Writing a personal purpose plan, we have goals. Goals are a dream with a deadline. Now, John has already identified his 3 missions, so we're going to attach goals for each of those, as well as get some status reports. So, John, what is a goal or an example of things that you want to accomplish in the summer internship with Allen and Company?
Yeah, so some goals I have there are to, just take in as much as I can. Obviously these guys are experts and pros, and I want to make sure that, I'm truly taking in everything they're saying, from the technical side to maybe how they go about things, but really just being a sponge that entire time. And then, and that kind of leads into the goal of just, coming out of it being a prepared, wealth manager or investment banker.
Excellent. The next area or mission that you identified was in summer and fall football for this season. What are some of the goals that you have in preparation?
Right. So, in that transformation phase coming up here, it's going to be a great time for me to maximize, my body. And that's where a lot of my goals are. I want to make sure that I'm lowering my body fat percentage. I'm at 20 right now, and my goal is to get down to 17, but still staying at this heavy 255-pound body weight. And I think through the conditioning that we're going to do, and the schedule they've showed us, it's going to be very achievable, but it's going to take a lot of discipline because that has a lot to do with nutrition as well. And then, to just grow together as a team, because these workouts are going to be really tough. It's going to be hot. And I think those are the moments, as a team, that's where you grow. And that's where the championships are won. They're won in the winter, and they're won when it's 110 degrees and you're running, hours of conditioning in the summer, because that's where, when it's week 10 and we're playing at Alabama and it's super loud, we're going to revert back to those. That's going to be why we're able to pull out through that game.
The third area that we talked about that you identified as a mission is your NIL. What are some of the goals that you have for your NIL? And I want to remind the audience, on a previous episode, you were able to make a benchmark, a baseline of your beginning NIL money, and then the increase since you've enrolled in Purpose NIL. Can you give us an update on that financial goal and what your goals are moving forward?
Right. Yeah. So my goals, NIL wise, is to really just maximize the content I'm posting, to really be open to lots of ideas and just putting a lot of information about myself out there. And I think this podcast and these episodes are going to be great to, get who I am out there and allow people to, buy into my story and see who I am and follow me. And financially, it's been really good since this has started. I've had some more NIL opportunities come up, and I'd say, from the goal where I started and where I'm at now, it's probably increased by about 30%. So it's been a great couple months. So yeah.
That's great. Well, 30% increase in less than 2 months is substantial, and it's significant. Now, you also mentioned that you want to increase your social media. What was your social media when you started Purpose NIL, and where would you like to get it to?
When I started, I think I was around like 14 or 1,500, and right now I'm at 2,300 followers, and I would like to get it to 3,000 in the summer, and I think through this should help it, grow a lot, and obviously with the season coming up. But yeah, and I think the content's going to help a lot too, getting my content out there and giving people a reason to follow me.
John, I got a feeling you are going to meet or exceed that 3,000 followers once people start hearing your story.
I sure hope so. I think so too.
I have a reason to be here. I've inspired and changed the world today. Every day you feel that fulfillment. You've lived out that purpose. You've done it that day. And there's joy. It has been super impactful having gone through the course. This is why I'm here. I never get tired of inspiring somebody. I never get tired of making somebody feel worthy and valued. Like, that fills my heart.
Knowing your purpose can transform your life. Go to purposeofyou.com.
In putting together a personal purpose plan, you also need to evaluate the things in your life that need to get pruned away. Now, I learned the pruning lesson from my father. When I was a teenager, he taught me how to prune an apple tree. The pruning process of an apple tree is this simple. You're trying to create quality fruit, not just quantity of fruit. In order to do it, you almost have to cut away 2/3 to 3/4 of the branches. Unfortunately, that's the same with our life. There's things in our life that suck our time and our money that take away from the good things that we're trying to produce with our purpose. So, John, were you able to identify one or two things, few things in your life that could get pruned away to help allow you to produce more quality instead of quantity in your life?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is this thing right here. As I've really, gotten to the University of Oklahoma, I've just realized, how much time it takes to, be a championship football team and to do academics along with that. And, through these past, 4 or 5 months, I've found myself always in some sort of time crunch, feeling like that I just never have any free time. And it's actually brought to the light that, I probably do spend too much extra of that time on my phone. And it's something silly, as my phone. And if I can pull back on that time, I think that'll help all my goals tremendously.
All right, John. So what is one thing that you've learned about yourself and your purpose in this last week?
I think I really have to go back to, the conditioning this morning. It was the first time in a while where, it'd been a super long week and I'm really tired. And I really woke up and had to, really push myself and be like, okay, John, come on, let's wrap it up. Let's, finish up a good week. And I just learned that, you're not always going to be perfect, but if you can revert back to your purpose statement, it really helps getting you back on the track super quickly to where it didn't affect my workout. It didn't affect me in front of everybody else. You got to get up and you got to do this just like you would any practice and just like you would a game.
Living your purpose is not always easy, but it's certainly the most fulfilling and rewarding.
Yeah, not at all. You gotta really push for it sometimes, that's for sure.
Well, I want to encourage John as well as everybody in the audience. Once you put together your personal purpose plan, like John just is working on right now, it's seasonal. That means it needs to be updated. So every quarter, once a year, however you want to do it with the life changes that you are, always update your personal purpose plan to honor your purpose because life changes. Responsibilities come in, responsibilities go out. John, we want to thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure as always.
Make sure you follow John on X at John Locke, LOCKEOC, and on Instagram, John_Locke 3103. And if you're an athlete, a student, or a CEO, and you need help defining your NIL, enroll in my Purpose of You Masterclass. You can take a free assessment to see if it's right for you at purposeofyou.com. And make sure you subscribe and follow me on social media at James M. Rink.